Good Monday makers, and welcome back to another episode of Maker Pipe Monday. This is our weekly build showcase series where we round up projects from the community. Today we're looking at a couple of neat storage solutions, a workbench, a Parhelion art display project, a ceiling rack, and a costume armor stand. So there's some really interesting projects with unique techniques that we're going to be checking out. Let's dive right in. First up is a project from Luke, and this is really interesting. So he said his son builds some really cool things, and they're too cool to take apart, but they can also add up quickly and kind of create some clutter. So he wanted to build this shelf to store everything nicely. You can see he had some space here in between the bed and the wall. So he built this custom to fit in this space just like he needed. He used T connectors, as you can see, from side to side. And what's really interesting is a technique that I haven't really seen utilized before, but he bent the conduit in a way that it actually supports the wood right on the bend, which is really interesting. He said he drilled some holes through the wood and then kind of bent the conduit to contour around the holes or through the holes and around the wood. And it's a really interesting idea, but it looks great and it looks like it's holding up everything just fine. So that's a really awesome idea. Thanks so much, Luke, for sharing that. We love seeing it. Next up is a project from Keith, and this is a workbench for his shop. It's a really simple design, but it's a great one. He's got 90-degree connectors here at the top to kind of make the main frame or the main rectangle. And you could do the same thing down here, but I think he did T's from side to side. And then I think there's some T's in the middle here that goes from side to side just to add some support for the shelves. I kind of see a glimpse of the connector up here, so I imagine he did the same thing. And I'm sure he used one-hole straps for one of the other methods for attaching flat surface to the conduit frame. Looks really good, and everything is on locking casters, so he can lock it in place or move it around the shop if he wants to. So that's really great, Keith. Thanks so much for sharing that. We love seeing it. Next up is a project from William, and he actually started this back in December. And his first post was kind of just his thought process of the ideas and kind of him getting started. He added some drawings and different things. But basically, he had a drop ceiling that he wanted to be able to attach a projector and other things to, but you can't really do that with a drop ceiling. So he actually went through the drop ceiling, used some DIY methods for making flanges, attached those to the wood frame above the drop ceiling, and then kind of built from there. And you can see this is kind of, like I said, his initial thought process and ideas, but this is the finished project. It looks really nice. It looks awesome with the silver conduit and silver connectors. Kind of fits the room really well. And now he's able to mount a projector, lights, a microphone, and other things, which is kind of what he was going for, and that's really great. You can see here, this is the projector mount that he did, and I'm not sure if he made it to be stagnant or if he's going to slide it back and forth. I'm not sure, but it looks really great either way. He used adjustable angle connectors and 90s here to kind of make this compact kind of hanging mechanism for the projector, and it looks really cool. I see some 90-degree connectors, there's T's, 5-way connectors, all kinds of things. He even has these nice kind of finishings that go around the conduit just to add a nice look to the conduit that's going through the drop ceiling. So all in all, looks really awesome. I'm glad it worked out well for you, William. He also shouted out Matt for all the assistance. Thanks, guys, for sharing that. We love seeing it. Next up is a project from Oscar, and this is another storage shelf, and he actually did this to fit his bathroom aesthetic. He couldn't find anything that fit the space exactly. Didn't really look like the rest of everything in the bathroom, so he built this. He started with silver conduit and silver connectors. Here he is kind of just testing the frame to make sure it fits in the space, and then he kind of finished it off. He used 90-degree connectors to kind of make a cube at the top, and then he's using T connectors. He's got some this way from side to side and then some from the front to the back, so it's rigid, and he's got shelves going all the way up. And then he painted the frame with this kind of bronze and copper. It looks matte kind of there. Then I'm sure once it dried and everything, it turned into this. And it's a really nice finish and matches the bathroom really well. He even used some T connectors and 90s to add a paper towel holder. Looks like a really awesome shelf, and it matches the bathroom really well. You can see here his sink actually has a frame similar, and he probably painted those as well to match, but he's got this really cool penny floor that has epoxy or resin over top of the pennies all spread out, which is really cool, and it looks like a great bathroom. Thanks so much, Oscar, for sharing that. We love seeing your project. Next up is a project from Chris from Lost Wax, and he has a great YouTube channel, does all kinds of prop making, costume designs using some ordinary materials like foam. Recently, he kind of made this video where he was trying to find a place for his armor. You can see he put it in some creative places just to show that he didn't really have any good place to store it. And so what he did is he actually made a armor stand with maker pipe and conduit. Here at the beginning, you kind of see a brief time lapse of it, and it looks really cool. and he goes through MakerPipe, kind of gives an overview of MakerPipe here, and then he kind of goes to exactly how to build it with a cut list and where he put everything to build it. So definitely check it out if you're looking to do something similar. He was trying different things to make sure that it wouldn't fall over too easily. He has some kids running around, wanted to make sure that it was safe for them. So he was trying different techniques to kind of widen the base. He also added some rubber feet on the ends of the conduit here, and he ended up going with an interesting idea, which was, you can see here that he wanted to make sure, like I said, that it wouldn't fall over. So what he did was he kind of bent, or not really bent, but kind of tilted the legs in a little bit. So if they did fall, then it would fall towards the wall instead of towards, like, to the side or forward or whatnot. So that was a really interesting idea and technique, and a great idea to kind of take into builds that you have inside. But like I said, it was a great build overall, and he had enough connectors left that he even built another armor stand for his daughter's armor. So you can see this is the armor stand for the full size one that he made, and then he built a mini version for his daughter's armor. So it's really cool, really interesting to hear his thoughts, and he kind of gave a review on everything and what he thought of the build. Definitely check out his video. I definitely recommend it. It's a really awesome build. Thanks so much, Chris, for sharing that. Next up is a project from Seattle Design Nerds, and they do all kinds of amazing art installations up in Seattle. And this is their most recent one that they shared, and it was really cool. You can see that it's a Parhelion project. I don't even know what a parhelion was. I had to look it up. And apparently it's kind of this thing that you get whenever there's a kind of a lens flare or some kind of flare from the sun. Apparently it happens when the rays from the sun refract through ice crystals high in the Earth's atmosphere. So hey, you learn something new every day. That's really interesting. And they were kind of replicating that with this project. And you can see they built this frame around the outside that's circular. They even have this orb on the inside that kind of replicates what I would imagine the sun, maybe. They have LEDs and looks like some kind of thin material to let the light pass through. So it's a really interesting art project and really cool. And you can see on the bottom here, they use MakerPipe frame and conduit to build this kind of base. So they used 90-degree connectors, I believe, maybe T connectors, would be T connectors there to make this bottom base. And then they use 45-degree connectors, kind of brace the structure here, and then a lot of T connectors just to kind of hold everything in place. But it's a great project, really cool to see. They do all kinds of awesome stuff. Definitely check out their Instagram for more projects just like this. I hope you guys enjoyed watching and seeing these projects as much as I enjoyed sharing them. Keep on posting your builds and creative ideas because we love sharing them with the rest of the community. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Consider subscribing if you want to see more videos just like this. We'll see you in the next one.